Hey guys, welcome to On My Shelf. Today I'm talking about a specific voice that nearly all writers will hear at some point in their career. If you missed the episode last week, I talked about 4 voices writers will hear in their career. I promised that I would talk about each voice in more detail, so today I would like to approach, with caution, the I can't do this voice. This voice has many different manifestations. Sometimes it's the voice that says we're not actually equipped to do this, for whatever reason, probably several. It is the voice that tells us we don't have enough experience, or we don't know enough about what we're trying to write. Sometimes it likes to remind us that we have never actually finished a manuscript, or, really, anything of note. Regardless of which manifestation you hear, this voice boils down to, I can't do this. This voice most often stems from the doubt within me. Sometimes it comes from other people in my life, like a creative writing professor I had in college who took an instant dislike to me as soon as I walked in the door, and I him. He did not say encouraging things while I was in his class, and some of those things have stuck with me. I dare say many of us have stories that go about the same, whether or not it was a writing professor who first planted in our heads that we might not be able to do this. Sometimes, in my most unguarded moments, this voice rises up from my past. I come from very humble beginnings. My family was poor. I should not have gone to college because my parents couldn't afford it. I went on scholarships, but I constantly battled the voice that told me I would never be anything more than poor, passed over, forgotten. The I can't do this voice, as you can see, is powerful. This voice typically comes out to visit in 3 different scenarios. The first is when I'm doing something new, writing in a new genre or a style that's completely new and unknown to me. As writers, we need to have permission to experiment. This voice doesn't like to let me. I encountered it most recently when my email subscribers, after a poll, told me that they would like to see a thriller written by me. I had never written a thriller before. I didn't really have much interest in writing a thriller, but because they asked, I did. As soon as I got started, the I can't do this voice started shouting. Here's how we can slay the voice in this scenario. Give yourself permission to be bad. The first draft of my thriller was terrible. The second draft isn't much better. It's now sitting in a file on my computer, waiting for probably 4 or 5 more drafts before it will even start taking any kind of good shape. No one has to read that first draft. No one has to read the next 2 or 3 or 4. We don't have to let anyone read what we're writing until we're ready. So we can write badly. In fact, it's good for us to write badly. Give yourself permission to. The next scenario in which this voice comes to visit is when I'm smack dab in the middle of a really involved project. Typically, these really involved projects have about 1,000 steps to them. I look at all those steps and I shake my head and say, nope, I don't think I can do this. Here's how to slay the voice in this scenario. Chip away at 1 step at a time. If it's too much to plan on brainstorming all the characters and the plot on the same day, do 1 character a day. Chipping away at a story sometimes allows for the deeper story to unfold. I encounter this voice often when I'm writing on my middle grade series, Ferndale. This is a very involved series with a cast of characters that's about as long as George R.R. Martin's Song of Ice and Fire list of characters. It's massive. Sometimes it feels like I can't do it, but I chip away 1 thing at a time. The third scenario where this voice makes itself comfortable is in the instances when I find myself completely overwhelmed with everything. Home, kids, work, people depending on me, deadlines, you name it. There's a whole lot in our lives every single day. We're not going to get to it all. Here's how to slay the voice in this scenario. Reevaluate and give yourself permission to cut away the unnecessary. If something is taking up mental and emotional space that you don't need, get rid of it. If you think you need to do everything and do everything well, change your perception. We will never be able to do everything. We have to let something slide or that voice will win. We won't be able to do it. Next week, I'll talk about the who would even read this voice. For now, give yourself permission to write a bad story, chip away one step at a time, and reevaluate what's really important in your life so you don't feel the need to do it all. I hope you've enjoyed this look at one of the negative voices a writer faces. Be sure to visit thiswriterlife.com to access my resource library and for more tips on writing and publishing within the context of being a parent. If you have any questions about the craft of writing, creativity, or publishing, leave them in the comments. For more on my shelf, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.